that enables an application or a game to actually tell with about the same precision as a finger where you're looking on the screen.
And where do you guys use this technology?
Historically, eye tracking has been used in two big segments, and one of them being disabled people who might be paralyzed and they can only use their eyes. And with eye tracking, then, that means that they can actually get help in communicating, actually talking with their eyes. So that's one area. The other area is in the analytical area, where you're actually using eye tracking. I know you major in psychology, so you can actually use the eye tracker to study psychology, children's psychology, and customers of ours are the Googles and Microsoft, who is also using eye tracking in order to test their new application to see, is this actually a good application, or should we change the user interface in any way?
Ah, yes, websites. You can see where everybody's looking, see what draws the eye. It's very interesting.
Exactly, and where we're going in the future is, besides gaming, and that's why we're here, but we're also looking into automotive. Imagine yourself controlling your car and your entertainment system in the car without actually having to take your eyes off the road. We're looking at medical industries, but also just the normal user, surfing around in Explorer, clicking around. Instead of having to use your mouse, you can use your eyes to click at different things in Internet Explorer.
Well, that's all well and good for the real world, but we're here for video games, so how can I use this eye tracker when I'm playing?
Yes, all about gaming here today. So it's a bit different depending on what games we're talking about. If we're talking about RTS games, the obvious thing is to get faster, to use eye tracking to accelerate your game. But you can also use it actually to analyze the game, to see, okay, where are the players actually looking on screen? Are they looking at the minimap? Did they miss this or did they miss that? So that's if we're looking at the RTS. If we're looking at FPS games, well, you could actually shoot where you're looking on the screen if you want to shoot people. Or if you're playing a team game, you could actually, instead of trying to explain where a person should move, you could just look at a place, send that gaze position to your teammate, and he automatically knows. You just tell him go there, and you're sending the gaze point to that guy, and you would actually very easily know where you mean. Looking into football games, or you're playing NHL or you're playing FIFA, just looking at your fellow player and you're just passing to him automatically without having to choose anything and not using anything but your gaze.
Well, we're here to play Starcraft 2 on this stage, and you guys have developed a really exciting interface. So tell me what you're capable of doing with Tobii technology in Starcraft 2.
Yes, so James is going to play here soon, and he's going to basically do 3 different things in the Starcraft game here using his gaze. The first thing being what we call the gaze warp, and that means that by pressing a button, he actually enlarges the minimap, and by just looking on the minimap, he will warp to that position. So he doesn't need to use the mouse or anything, he's just using his gaze. Number 1. Number 2 being instant pan, and that's a very simple thing that you just, by clicking a button, you're just centering the screen where you're looking. So very, very quick in just recentering the screen exactly where you're looking. And the final one being the instant action. And that means that you actually can move a unit to where you're looking. So if you have marked a unit or an army, and you just look on a spot, and you press the move button, or the attack button, or the patrol button, but that means that you can move to exact the position where you're looking without moving around with the mouse.
Well, that sounds all well and good, but I'm going to need to see this in practice because it's a little hard for me to conceive. So what we actually have set up over here is James. He's going to be playing a StarCraft 2 campaign. We're going to have a camera on his hand. You're going to see he's not going to need that. A camera on his eyes to see where he's looking, and then we're going to watch him play this game, and he's going to tell us exactly what he's doing. James, are you ready?
Yep, sure, sounds good. Okay, so there's 3 things I want to demonstrate. Obviously, a little bit been outlined already. The first one is our gaze warping, as it were. Basically, if I look up to the top on our minimap, it should take me all the way up there, and then I will go back to the minimap here. A special little overlay that has been produced for this, and then I can go straight back to my units. So I'll do that again, go straight up to here, and then look down and go straight back. Next, I can easily go and move command. Once it actually wants to be cooperative, there we go. So, can move wherever I'm looking and make that quite nice. and can even attack. So we'll be able to take out this in our first mission of campaign. So for now, we're going to move on forwards up here, and the next tool is something called panning, which we use another mouse button here to actually just pan in the direction that I'm actually looking. So if I look up to the top of the screen, I can actually pan in that direction. I'll pan up to the top left-hand corner, and there we go. So can constantly still move around. We'll advance on, and you can actually complete situations like this pretty easily with this technology. And we'll keep going around, keep panning around as well. As you can see, the mouse isn't moving at all. Just using the buttons on the mouse purely as demonstration, as that does trigger some of the functionality that does come along with this. So we'll attack over here. Let's just move that on and take out a few more Marines here on our first game. So, as I said before, there's three big functionalities. There's the warp gazing. You can actually select extra units with this. Let me just see if I can allow that to work out. So we can bind those to our hotkey as well there. And for now, we can continue moving on and maybe even kill some more things. So you can really, sometimes it is a little bit unresponsive, but for the most part, you can complete these tasks pretty easily.
Well, I think one of the finest things about this technology is this enables people who are not fully motor capable to play these games and to play them on a competitive level if they so choose.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
Well, James, do you want to come up here and maybe discuss your experience with us? Now, as a former competitive player, as someone who examines a lot of Starcraft, how do you think this can actually be applied to Starcraft 2?
Well, obviously, being in beta prototype right now, it's not pinpoint accurate, but if things like aim assists were actually in there, that would help out a lot as well. And in the end, you could actually gain a lot of speed if you were able to just basically look at units and select them in that fashion. Obviously, people are very, very used to mices right now. That's something that, you know, it would take a little bit of time to get used to. But in the grand scheme of things, you could actually speed up.
And I think you should see it as not as a replacement of the mouse,
Yeah.
but actually today you're using two inputs. You're using the keyboard and you're using the mouse. But with Gaze, you also have a third input, and that's using your eyes to point with. So you can actually perform 3 commands at the same time instead of 2 commands at the same time.
Exactly. It's like an augmentation, right?
Yes.
It's there. It's another tool that's going to be able to help gamers advance on that little bit further. And then you can add extra dynamics to games that could have never been possible before without an actual person's vision coming into play.
Yes.
I think one of the things I'm most excited for is for you guys to get in development. I want to play a game that's based entirely around eye tracking. So when is this going to become available to the public?
So right now we have this unit which is called the Developer Edition. So that's basically a call out to you out there in the audience here who are a developer and who probably is a gamer as well, and you have a great idea on either building a new game, developing a new game, or building a plug-in to an existing game like we've done here for Starcraft 2. And bringing that to market. So really, if you want to do that, then you just go into our homepage and you can actually sign up as a partner and do this development. In the fall of 2013, we will actually launch a limited edition. So that's 5,000 of these units that we will actually sell to the consumer. And this is the first time in history where actually eye tracking has been made available at a price point where actually consumer can buy that. Moving over into 2014, we will see it start being integrated into all-in-ones and monitors. And then another year later, beginning 2015, we will also see it going into ultrabooks and smaller laptops as well as tablets.
That's all very exciting. Is there anything else you'd like to say? And what is that URL if we do want to check that out?
Sorry?
The URL.
The URL is www.tobii.com, and that's Tobii with 2 I's. Well, actually, I have another thing. I have a question for you,
Sure.
Brian. If you had a wish now, you've tried this with these 3 features that we've shown in this prototype. When it comes to building a product and having a product out there, would you have a request or a feature that you would like to see in this product?
I think the aim assist is something that would be extremely useful. I mean, it's already implemented in consoles quite a bit in terms of things like Call of Duty and being able to play that and stuff. But for the most part, that would really, really help this product in order to just be able to select things a little easier. And then also, in terms of StarCraft, personal wish would be the ability to actually box things. So hold down a specific command, look in one location, look in the second location, and then have a box that selects all the units within that box.
All right, thank you. So if any of you have any ideas or any thoughts, please feel free to go into our Facebook page and give us the ideas about what we should do with this product, but also which games should we actually Gaze enable in the future. That would be a great help from you guys out there.
All right, well, thank you so much, Peter. Thank you, Tobii Technology, for this great information, and I'm excited to see where this technology goes. Also, thank you, James, for the demonstration.
Thank you.
We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we've got more StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm.